As a videographer, I accumulated a bunch of gear throughout the years. Well, on a recent trip, I really wanted to challenge myself to just bring my iPhone to see if it's really worth the hype. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Reina. I am a videographer and content creator. And last time I posted a vlog where I shot everything on the iPhone. So this time I wanted to show you guys the behind the scenes of that vlog. I did bring some accessories, so I just want to share that with you. I have an external SSD. The one I have is the Planck SSD, which was gifted, and I really liked it. And I wish I could recommend it to you guys, but unfortunately it's been discontinued. So you're gonna have to look for something else. I'm sure there's a few others. I'll try to put it here. I also have some shift cam gear that they gifted me. Here's what I brought to my trip. I'll leave all the links below if you're interested. It's completely possible to film without any of the accessories, but if you want to lock the shutter in, you're gonna need the ND filters. If you want to shoot ProRes RAW, you're gonna need the external SSD. And even if you're not, I kind of like it because it keeps everything separate from your folder. And the Snap Grip Pro, I do really like that one because it allowed me to charge the phone while filming, and it lasted almost a whole day with the charger. In that recent vlog that I posted, I got something in the comments that I thought was perfect to share in this video. It's from Ashu Girl. Is that correct? Would also love to see any planning process that's involved in your travel vlogs, BTS. How much of a concept do you have beforehand? Do you script, create a shot list, etc.? So, to be completely honest, I don't have a huge plan before I start filming. But in terms of the gear I'll bring, it kind of just will depend on the trip. So if I knew that it was going to be outdoors or doing more water sports, I'll bring my Go Ultra or Go Through S, maybe a drone for a surf trip, that kind of stuff I'll plan. I think if you watch a lot of my tutorials, you might see I do have some key shots that I will try to get. A lot of it actually comes together in the editing, which is my favorite part. So I'll go over the editing a little bit after the filming portion. For the camera settings for this specific recent vlog that I did use OpenGate at H.265. I didn't really know that the resolution goes down to 1920 by 1440 when you're not filming in ProRes RAW. So that's just one thing I want to mention if you're going to film in OpenGate. Also, if you use the front camera and the settings is weird, then if you hold it vertically, it will change the resolution again. So just be aware of that. I messed this up a few times while filming. And if you're not interested in filming on OpenGate, you can do H.265 in 4K, and of course you can shoot in ProRes RAW if you want the best image, but it will take up more space and you will need an external SSD. Just a quick tip before we start filming. I do feel the hardest thing when you start vlogging is just getting comfortable talking to the camera. Very early on, I felt so stiff and it would take incredibly long just to get one sentence out. And honestly, sometimes it still happens if I take a break from filming. So to refresh my memory a bit, I took this class from Aaron on Skillshare. It was called From Camera Shy to Confident. And I really wish I took this 5 years ago because it would have saved me so much time and just awkward moments in front of the camera. One quick exercise that he teaches is just taking a deep breath before you start filming, and then you just find your natural pitch by starting really high and then bringing it down to where your voice doesn't feel strained. And I feel I tend to go a little high when filming, so then that was a really good reminder, and now I do it every time before I film. I'm okay, try talk, and then I'm okay, bring it down to my natural voice. This is how I talk to a friend, because sometimes I'm talking up here and then it gets really strained and it sounds a little bit unnatural. So now I'm able to remember my natural voice. Skillshare has creative classes taught by world-class creatives. It is the best place to learn a creative skill or pick up a new hobby. If you're looking to reconnect with your creativity, Skillshare is where humans come to learn from other humans. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So sign up today if you're interested. Now let me share the behind the scenes with you guys when we went to Yosemite. Before we go out, I just want to show you what's in my bag or how everything fits, because like I said, this is the first time I'm just bringing all my iPhone stuff. So usually I'll have the Sony a7S III, and that's pretty big. So I usually just carry it, handhold it. And I also have a baby now. So it's I have baby stuff and then the camera stuff just in one corner of this bag here. But this bag is gifted to us by Ace Studios, so I just wanted to mention them and shout them out. It's super organized because there's these 3 compartments, and then there's these side pockets, and then there's these pockets on the inside. So if you're someone that likes organization, it's if you have multiple cameras and you just like to see everything laid out and not in a vertical backpack. It's this horizontal layout. I highly recommend. Try and check them out if you're looking for a bag. So I'm just gonna do like 2 scenes and show you behind the scenes of that because it's gonna get really repetitive. I realized when I first started vlogging, I would just do like a lot of B-roll, and that's great. You always want B-roll, but I would be too shy to talk to the camera. So it's like, okay, now I have nothing to cut, like to kind of break apart all like the music montagey stuff. It's nice to just have like you talking to the camera where you're like, oh, this is what we're gonna do, or this is what we did, or if you have some sort of thought or reflection, it just helps break up the edit a little bit. If you're shy, just do it in the car. It's like the best place, the safe space to do it. If you're a little bit more confident, you can do it out in public like this, but they'll probably take some time, so just do it in the car. So yeah, let's just do that first. So we're just gonna like do all the easy hikes today, walk around. The weather is perfect, and Karen and Tyler said it's less crowded than yesterday, so, and that's kind of like a talking portion I'll do. Okay, let's go. So usually when I'm filming and traveling, like I said, I don't really think too much, but I'm just trying to get always a variety of shots, especially when you're kind of like transitioning from one place to the other. It's good to get like 3 shots minimum just to like have a sequence of shots. If there's a really nice spot that's worth like taking in, then I will set up the tripod and just try to get like 1 shot of all of us walking, or just like whatever it is. Let's just set 1 up since it's beautiful right here. So I'm just gonna use this tripod, this phone tripod, and I set this up here. So we have the waterfall, and I'm just gonna get a shot of us walking, and that's it for this tripod shot. Okay, ready? Okay, so let's just walk together. That's it. There's a path. I found it. Hercules. So usually when I'm traveling, I don't really like to overthink it. I will mostly handhold the camera and just film as I go. And if there's a scenery that really catches my eye, then I'll set the tripod up. But for the most part, Jack and I are just taking turns filming. And just a quick tip for filming while traveling: if you're getting to a point where you're starting to stress or get frustrated because of filming, I would say just put your camera away. Nobody is forcing you. Just enjoy the scenery and only take out the camera when you're feeling inspired to document. And then usually if you're hiking or something, you want like the reveal shot or like the final money shot. So that's what I'm gonna try and get right here. And as usual, I wanna get some B-roll shots because you wanna show like the view and like just close-up shots and stuff, just a variety. So I'm just gonna use the 48mm on that iPhone and maybe test 100mm too to try to see if I can get the waterfall. So we just got a sequence of shots, and now if I'm doing like a new thing, like right now we're gonna have lunch, in situations where I don't really have like a transition to the next scene, I'll just get a B-roll shot of the location, establishing shot of what we're doing, something so it's not like so jarring suddenly into the new location. So I'll just get like a wide shot of all of us here, and in editing I'll probably put some sort of text like lunchtime or whatever to make it more interesting. But basically I'll just do that and just repeat, you know. Sometimes I'll film like if I'm eating, sometimes I just film like a short little montage, 3 shots. If it's more like a long activity, maybe I'll get a bunch of shots as we go and like pass the phone back and forth between Jack and I. That's basically it. Now that I showed you a little behind the scenes on how I film, let's get into the editing portion. So like I said, I don't have much of a plan usually when I start filming this type of travel vlog. And especially if it's like a travel vlog where I'm like full on traveling, filming a bunch of shots, then I'll just like come home, look at the footage, and just maybe do a chronological edit where it's just like day 1, day 2, day 3, and then in the intro or outro I'll do like a little voiceover to explain like why I'm there, or if I want to share like accommodation and flight info, then I'll put it in the intro. And that's kind of a straightforward travel video. But if you want to do something like one of my time capsule pieces where It's more like the footage is just there to accompany like what your thoughts and reflections from that trip is. I mean, the truth is we probably already spent most that we ever will with our families during our childhood. And the same goes with my sister. We used to share rooms, play, chat whenever we wanted, until one day you wake up and realize that we're both married now and have completely separate lives. So if you don't carve out the time for each other, we won't be able to create new memories together. For that, I come home and I look at all the footage that I have, and I would try to like craft just a short script, and I'll like note, where it's like, oh, this part's missing something, in the edit, where I just need something to tie it together. Then I'll put a voiceover. Like maybe I can show you my timeline or something. So this is like the intro where I chatted straight to the camera for a bit, and then you can see that these are voiceovers that I added in later. So for this past vlog, I did have one intro where I talked to the camera. So while I was on that trip, I knew that I wasn't in the mood to like film a bunch because we were there to see family, and the only like thing I wanted to film was the behind the scenes video for you guys, but the rest was just like low stress, filming whatever I want. But I did feel like, I want to create something to talk about family because I feel like that was a big theme. So that first like portion where I'm talking to the camera, I just like went out for a walk and I filmed that real quick. So that was like the most planned thing that I've done. But even without that, like if I had come home and I didn't shoot that, I think I would just do a voiceover, which is what I usually do. Like I did one where it's like debating if I should move to Japan, and that one was very similar situation where I kind of just filmed a bunch, but I didn't have an idea of what it was gonna be, and it felt like it would fall flat as a travel vlog because it wasn't like that informative, and it's not like a very specific location. It was just moments with my family. So I was like, okay, I want to create a time capsule piece for myself that maybe other people can enjoy too. So I had all this b-roll, and I just wrote a little voiceover script on what I've been going through, thinking about, and I put that in, and I kind of just like layer the b-roll on wherever it fits. So I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm kind of rambling because I wasn't really looking at my script that I have here. Yeah, basically it all comes together in the editing. So there's a lot you can do in editing if you like. I'm sure a lot of you, if you're not used to filming and you haven't really found your style, you just like shoot a bunch and you come home and you're like, I don't know what to do with this footage. Maybe you can practice with that type of voiceover time capsule. Quick voiceover portion since I forgot to cover this, but we get some questions about storage management and editing while traveling, so I wanted to answer that real quick. When we're traveling, I bring our MacBook to work and edit off of, and we bring these 1TB SSDs to back up all our footage and to work on projects if I have to. We do everything in DaVinci Resolve Studio, so I also bring the dongle to use the studio version. And in this recent trip, we actually reached out to Blackmagic to see if we can lend their small color grading panel, so they let us lend it, and he usually uses this big panel at home. But there's just like no way we can bring this on the plane because it's super heavy. So we felt like the smaller version was perfect because it fit in our carry-on suitcase. So I am considering this if we go on longer trips and need to work while we're away from our home office. So again, for this trip, this is everything that I brought. You don't need everything, but if you do film a lot or you need to work while traveling, this is just our current setup. Before I leave you guys, I kind of just want to share like if I would do this again, like just bringing the iPhone on my trip, as a videographer. And I think what I realized is it really depends on the trip. Like this type of family trip where I was going with a primary goal to visit family and not like, just us three going to travel type of thing. I don't always like to be filming because I want to be present, and just like pick days where I want to film. And I didn't want to bring the big mirrorless camera if I wasn't going to film that much because we have a baby, we have more things to bring. The iPhone was perfect, and I feel like I would use it for a lot of situations like that. But like I said in my other iPhone tutorial, if you did watch that one, what sucks about filming on the iPhone, even though the footage is great, you start to like not be able to use your phone as a phone because you're like filming and maybe you want to use Google Maps, you want to use Google Translate if you're traveling. That kind of gets in the way. So if I'm doing like an international trip with Jack and I and baby, then I'll probably bring a separate camera like the Osmo Pocket 3, or I upgraded to the Luna Ultra recently, so I would probably bring something like that. And again, like I have so many cameras and I am a videographer, so like if I'm like going on a trip where it's like a surf trip and I want to get tight shots of us surfing, then I'm gonna have to bring my mirrorless camera with the zoom lens. Or maybe I'll bring a drone because I want some drone footage. Or I'll bring my waterproof pocket cameras if we're gonna do like outdoorsy stuff and maybe go in the water. And one more thing that I want to add to my list of like travel gear is a camcorder. I know it's so stupid because we have all these like nice high quality footage for a reason, but it's just nice to just have this like easy, nostalgic, vibey, you know, camera. So, oh my god, see, I went all over the place again, but basically I would bring just the iPhone again. It is very, very capable, but as like a creative person that likes to experiment with different cameras and like have specific cameras for specific moments, I do feel like there is a place for my other cameras still. I'm not gonna throw all of them away just because I have the iPhone. And again, sometimes it's just nice to have it separate. So capable, but I will probably still use my other cameras. Okay, well, I guess that's it for this video. I'll leave all the links to everything I mentioned below if you're interested. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.